And welcome to another episode with the podcast guys. I'm Nando.
And I am Roberto.
All right. So, what is our topic for this evening?
Today we're going to be going over 5 beta male behaviors.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
So let's start off with, why don't you define for us what really is a beta male?
So, beta male is a man who assumes a passive role in social situations and comes off as weak, in a way as pathetic as well.
Yeah, beta males are basically generally guys that chase women that aren't interested in them.
Pretty much women that don't give them the time of day, that don't give them the attention. Basically, women that they don't have a chance with.
Beta males are, another way of putting it, are weak men.
And if you're trying to get a woman, if you're trying to date a woman, get into a relationship, take it further than that, you don't want to be a beta male.
Definitely not. I think women have an intuition for this type of stuff, and they could just kind of tell based on how a guy's acting, how he carries himself, if he's a beta male type. So let's start the list off. These are going to be 5 beta male behaviors. So you want to start us off with number 1?
The first one is that they end up in the friend zone. You don't want to end up in the friend zone. You end up in the friend zone, you're done. You're trying to get a date out of her, not going to happen. A relationship, not even close. If you can't get a date, you're definitely not going to get a relationship out of her. So if she's friend zone you can pretty much say, for the most part, game over. You can try to do things to get out of the friend zone, but if you put yourself in that position based on her judgment, it's going to be really tough to get out of.
Yeah, I think getting in the friend zone is probably the most common denominator amongst beta males, because beta males do what? They chase after women, they try to impress them, they try to take them out on dates, and and they end up getting nothing in return, so they end up getting friend zone. I think this is probably the most common telltale sign of a beta male. So for anybody watching, if you tend to find yourself in that scenario where, out of the last 10 women you tried to hook up with, you ended up in the friend zone, you probably may want to listen to the rest of this list, because there's a reason for that.
And to be in the friend zone, that's saying that she doesn't want you as a mate.
She's not attracted to you.
She doesn't want you as a boyfriend. She doesn't want any intimacy, sexual intimacy with you.
Yeah.
But she's happy to have you there for support. If she needs somebody to have a shoulder to cry on, she'll call you up, text you, FaceTime you. Hey, this is how my day's going. It's been going terribly. And then you're there, you're just talking her through it. But you're getting nothing in return. What's the point of that?
Yeah, basically, women like being friends with beta males because they could kind of open up to them, like you said, tell them about their day and use that guy as an emotional tampon. But that guy will stick around, willingly, thinking maybe he'll eventually hook up with this girl or gain her interest or gain her, attraction. But it's not the case. So yeah, number 1 is definitely ending up in the friend zone. I think that's beta male behavior number 1.
And that's the thing, is that support. So you're there supporting her, thinking that you might get something sexually out of her, sex or some sort of intimacy out of her, but it never happens. It just goes, and it happens for maybe a day, a week, a month, years.
Yeah, it could go on years.
Guys spent years wasting their time thinking that they're going to get sex out of a girl because of what he's providing to her. Oh, I'm supporting her. I'm giving her this and that. But no, it doesn't happen. So guys, that beta male behavior is something that you don't want to have when you're trying to get into a relationship with a woman.
100%. And I don't think any guy wants to end up in a friend zone. It's a terrible place to be. What's number 2 on the list?
Number 2 is men and their loyalty, men being loyal. You can be as loyal as you want to be, but that's not going to keep her around all the time. I'm sure for the very few women that'll keep them around, very few. But for the majority, they're going to look at you as, oh, this guy, well, he's just there for me and that's it. And in a way, that's a turnoff for the woman.
when we say being loyal is a beta male behavior, we're specifically talking about being loyal to a female that you're getting nothing from. We're not talking about being loyal necessarily to your wife or long-term girlfriend. We're specifically talking about guys that tend to be loyal to like one girl and like, oh, I'm going to give all my attention to this one girl and do everything for this one girl. And you're not even getting anything out of it. And like chances are, going back to number one, you're probably already in the friend zone. You don't even realize it. That's when loyalty is a beta male behavior. So
They kind of go hand in hand, loyalty and the friend zone.
yeah,
If you end up too loyal, that shows that you're not confident, that she knows you're going to be faithful, but does she really want you to be faithful?
right. I think a more like alpha male type of behavior would be to expect that she's loyal to you, not
and
vice versa.
It's also jealousy too. When the guy is always jealous of where your whereabouts, if you're going out here, you're going out there. Oh, what time are you getting back? He follows you. He sees who's DMing you on Instagram and just flips out. Things like that. A need to be in an LTR in a long-term relationship. Again, those are all signs of loyalty, but is that attractive to a woman? Is that going to have a woman want to think in her mind, hey, I want to date this guy? Probably not.
Loyalty to a woman is not an attraction trigger. Loyalty comes into play way later into the relationship, right? Once you've actually like dated for some time and you know now you're in a serious relationship, that's when you can talk about loyalty. But we're specifically talking about having this mentality that you're supposed to be loyal to a woman that you have nothing going with to begin with. You haven't even hooked up with her yet, or maybe even if you did and you're already loyal to her, and she's not being loyal to you. Let's be real. Most of these women, like if you're in the early hookup phase, you think she's being loyal to you. She's definitely talking to other guys behind your back and DMing other guys and getting attention from multiple guys. So that's why this is a beta male behavior, because if you understand women, you'll understand that they are always talking. No woman is like officially single. They're always talking to somebody. So you being loyal to her right out the gate is a sign of weakness. It shows you have no options, and you're just basically conveying to her that you're gonna be her beta cuck.
The thing is that how can you be loyal to a girl that you don't even have yet?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
As you said, once you develop a relationship and it gets deeper and deeper, of course, it makes sense to have that loyalty to an extent, of course. The jealousy and all that is not going to go over too well. However, you can't put that in the forefront when you don't even have her yet. You're loyal to her. You're just talking to her. She's talking to other people too. So you're going to be loyal to her when you don't even have her. It makes no sense. And when girls say that they're just talking to you and they're not talking to anybody else,
Stop the cap.
stop the cap. They have a roster. They're always talking to somebody unless they get into a relationship and they end up devoting themselves to you, and it's a relationship that it's not polygamous.
The term that's used in like the red pill community for that is one-nightus. And one-nightus is this like obsession over one girl. Oh, I like this girl so much that like all you think about is this one girl, and like you put all your attention on this one person and you start spending a lot of time with them, and like you're focused on just one woman. And again, just reminding you, she's not just focused on you. You're just one of her many options, and by being loyal to her that early into it, you're just conveying her that you're not her best option.
100%, 100%. So let's move on to the next one. And the next one is that a physically weak man is a beta male behavior. Now, when a woman is looking at a guy, she's looking for a strong guy, for a protector, for someone that's confident, assertive. If she sees a weak dude, is that really going to attract her to him? If she says yes, she's lying, because no woman wants a weak dude protecting her, because deep down she feels like she won't be able to have that protection. She wants a strong male figure in her life as a partner, as a mate.
Plus, I think being physically strong is like the ultimate, like, masculine trait. I mean, think about even like how it's portrayed in movies and stuff like that. Superheroes are always what? Superman is like big chest, muscles, ripped abs. That's masculinity, being physically strong. if you're physically weak, scrawny, skinny, physically weak could also be, you're overweight. If you don't have a physically strong, and this goes back to frame, like if you don't have a physically strong frame, we're not saying you have to go and be a bodybuilder. You don't have to weigh 225 pounds, but like you should have a physically strong appearance.
Having that physical power, showing that physical power, showing muscles, puts you in a better frame of mind when in a woman's mind. I mean, it puts you in a better light, and you stick out from the competition. There's many guys out there who come off as weak, and what can you or that guy? It's for every guy out there. What can you do to change this? Simply get your butt out of the house and get in the gym. No excuses. You're working 12 hours a day? Fine. Still make time to go to the gym.
100%.
Because there's people that do it, and there's no reason why you can't do it as well.
I think it's important for every man to have like a masculine, like a manly hobby, right? Whether it's you're lifting weights, MMA, boxing, jiu-jitsu, like any kind of like physically demanding activity, sport, you play football, baseball, what have you, basketball. I think it's important to have that type of activity in your life because that builds masculine, it builds strength and it builds like a masculine frame.
Exactly. And doing things like that puts you, again, in a better position. And women see you as a potential mate. They see you as, oh, this guy's the man. He's got muscles. He's got power. He's strong. He's athletic. He's got what it takes.
I promise you that if a female sees that, maybe you post pictures of yourself doing like MMA, that kind of conveys that you're a strong person, right? If you post pictures of yourself playing, I don't know, like video games or like something corny, you're basically conveying that you're more of like a weaker type of person, and it's messed up to say, but that's just the reality of it. Like you have to convey a physically strong frame.
Well, that's the thing. If you're a guy that's just home playing video games, eating like shit, and just drinking, drugs, whatever the case may be, of course, lay off the drugs. They're not good for you at all. The one thing is that they're going to see you as, well, this guy's out. I mean, you're competing against other men for that girl. You're one of the many she's looking at. You're not the only guy. Now, let's talk about this. If you're more of a high value guy, there's women that may overlook some of the physical attributes that a man may not have.
Correct.
However, if you have the physical attributes and you have the money, the status, all the above, or most of the above, because of course nobody's perfect, nor man nor woman is perfect, then you're going to have a better chance.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think success and status, being financially successful is always going to tower over like physical strength. Just being in shape isn't enough. Like you can't just lift weights and be in good shape and hope that that's going to be enough to attract women, because that's just like you're working on your physical appearance, the way you look. But
it's for an average man to
yes.
really stand a chance.
Yeah, correct.
In the dating marketplace.
Correct. And another way to look at it is like if you're physically out of shape, you're just putting yourself at a further disadvantage. Being in shape, I think it's honestly like a bare minimum requirement. You should be in pretty decent shape.
And again, it's cool. If you don't want to get in the gym, that's fine. Keep doing what you're doing, but don't expect to have a different result if you're looking to attract a woman.
Plus, that's something you should do for yourself anyway.
No matter what.
Dating and women put aside. I mean, working out and being in physical shape, dieting, being at a healthy weight, you should be doing that for yourself regardless. Why would you want to be overweight or scrawny or weak?
It's for your life. It's for your health. You want to be healthy. You want to feel good in life.
I think
you have one body. What other body do you have?
We've worked out for years. I mean, lifting weights is good for you mentally. It improves your confidence. You feel physically better. I mean, how many times we had like really bad days where you're stressed out, you had a shitty day at work, and like you go to the gym and you're tired, you don't even feel like going. But by the time you're done working out and like those endorphins come out and you feel great. You put music in your headphones and you feel like a beast. So you should really force yourself to do it. And I think most people will find that once they start working out that they'll actually enjoy it. Don't look at it as like some kind of chore. You should look forward to working out.
It should be a habit. It should be something that you do naturally. Just build the habit, get in the gym, and maybe you want to run, get to the track, run, play a sport. It doesn't even have to be something too over the top. If the gym is too much for you, which it shouldn't be. If lifting heavy weights is too much for you, but again, it should not be. You should aspire to do that to make yourself better. Then look in other ways to do it. At least go for a 30-minute walk. At least start with something.
You should.
And then work your way up to the gym.
You should. I would first identify like which category do you fall in. Are you somebody that's overweight or are you somebody that's underweight? Right? Because if you're an overweight guy, then you know that lifting weights isn't really the issue. You need to go and diet and lose weight, burn calories. You should look into running, hit a treadmill, do activities that burn calories. Now, if you're like a scrawny guy, you weigh 120, 130 pounds, now you're looking at like eating a caloric surplus. You want to overeat. You want to lift weights because that's how it's going to put on mass. So you have to first identify like, which of the two do you fall into. If I was overweight, I wouldn't even be concerned with lifting weights. I would be concerned with losing weight.
That's the awesome thing that we know about after lifting for so many years now.
Mm-hmm.
Just straight. Of course, we've lifted before that, but the thing is that if you maintain a healthy lifestyle, it'll come naturally. It'll come naturally. The looks, the physical attributes, it'll work out. And why not work out? Get in the gym, feel good,
You're
better.
building healthy habits. You're building habits that are going to benefit you physically, mentally, and it'll improve your overall attractiveness. Let's get into number 4.
Before we get into number 4, guys, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, guys, on YouTube. Check us out on Rumble. Hit the notification button. Like the video. Comment. Let us know what you think. And support the channel, guys. We're here, again, as I've mentioned before, on a variety of occasions. We're just starting out. We are here providing as much value as we can to you. We're doing our research on things and based on what we've studied and our experiences, we're giving you all we can to improve your life. Not just men out there, again, women, we're helping you out. We're showing you what it takes for men to try to attract you.
Yeah, I mean, this is mostly a male channel. Why would women benefit from watching this channel? Because at least you're seeing a male perspective. You may not necessarily agree with it. Maybe you'll be offended by some of it, but at least you're getting some insight from a guy's point of view. How are guys thinking? Because guys most of the time won't tell you this type of stuff. Guys they go along with what women, believe in because they don't want to offend them. So if you watch our channel, here you go.
And our YouTube Shorts debuted first, and they've been out for a little bit, and we've been getting some feedback, and we could tell, of course, that naturally the women are getting offended, and
I think
we can see that there's some hate on that end, but we're coming from good intentions. We are showing you and telling you what guys are looking for, because the guy that you're with is afraid to tell you.
Yeah,
he's not gonna look you in the face and tell you what we're telling you. For
this
the most
is truth.
part, very few guys will. Very few. The majority won't tell you. If you look over to your guy wherever he is, to if he's straight ahead of you or to your left or to your right, you're going to be watching this now. You're going to realize that he's not telling you most of the stuff that he has on his mind.
Yep, 100%. Guys are scared to say this stuff because they know what kind of backlash they're going to get. What's number 4?
So on to the 4th one. Another beta male behavior is being too emotional. Being too emotional right away is a turnoff. It's unattractive. Imagine seeing a man cry in front of his girl. Now, ladies, listen to this. Imagine a guy crying in front of you. Your guy crying in front of you. Or a guy that's trying to date you crying in front of you. Is that something that's going to make you want to date him? Or if you're already together, is this something that if he makes a habit of, you're going to want to be with him for the long term? You see this as a long-term partner? Some of you may say yes, but deep down, no.
Women don't like emotional men. Women expect men to be a rock. Like you're, and like we just spoke about physical strength. This falls into emotional, mental strength rather. So if you're emotional, you're conveying to her that you are mentally weak, that you can't handle real life problems, real life issues. You give up easily. Women don't want guys that that complain, that are weak, that can't handle real life issues. So if you're emotional and you're complaining to her, I don't think, honestly speaking, I don't think men should complain to women at all.
No.
At all. The moment you complain to her about, doesn't matter. You complain about work or something that happened that day. You might think you're venting to her, but in her eyes, you are being emotional. It's a sign of weakness, basically.
In her eyes, as you said, you're being weak. And if you have issues, talk to your friends, your guy friends, your male friends.
Complain to your guy friends.
Let them know what's going on because you'll get actual advice. Women will give you some spin around and tell you some whole thing that you should do. But meanwhile, it's not the right advice. And deep down, they're really unattractive. They're turned off by that. So,
and you'll hear I see interviews where social media influencers will interview women in the street and they'll say like, oh yeah, I want a guy that's emotional, that'll open up and be emotional. That's bullshit. They don't fall for that.
they don't want someone that's too sensitive, that's too gentle. They want someone that's going to tough it out when the times are tough because let's face it, 365 days a year, there's some tough days in there. And it's not all roses and daisies like some people portray it to be. You have to go out there and work your tail off and deal with everything that's thrown at you. You have to be able to solve problems. You have to be a problem solver. And a sensitive, gentle guy who's afraid is not going to make that happen.
No, definitely not.
It's not going to work. And women will see that. As for guys out there, the ladies will see that, and they'll just go the other way. Because there are men out there that are willing to put up a fight against the world. They're willing to battle. They're willing to tough it out. And they'll get to where they want to be there. They'll hit their goals.
And even so, we're talking about like not being too emotional. Even when she pisses you off or gets on your nerve, that's another one where you have to be careful not to react emotionally because, we did a whole episode on shit tests. And we talk about that, how like women will sometimes say stuff to you to just trigger you and see how you react. And if you react emotionally, that's how you lose that shit test. So even when you're dealing with your own woman, you have to be careful not to be emotional.
That's the thing. It's you can't say,
how dare you?
When somebody says something negative about you, somebody tries to upset you. People will try to upset you on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They will. People don't care. And if you're all and all sensitive and start crying or whatever you do, all upset, all up in your feelings, then good luck trying to get a woman. And if you happen to have one, good luck trying to keep a woman.
Yeah, and I think when women see that guys are overly emotional, they not only view them as weak, but they also view them as easy to manipulate.
100%.
When what's the purpose of a shit test? If she shit tests you and you react to it, you're easy to manipulate emotionally, and that's a sign of weakness. And she'll lose attraction over that. So
if you're a guy that's easy to control, she's just going to take you for a ride.
Yeah,
she sees you crying. You don't want to cry in front of your woman. That's absolutely out of the question.
Since we're on the subject, one that I see sometimes is you'll see pictures of like guys at their own wedding, and there's that picture of the guy crying as the wife walks in. It's so cringe.
Good start to the marriage, right?
Good start to the marriage. Good start to the future divorce. Yeah, exactly. Seriously, like it sounds funny, but you're showing emotion like that.
It's a serious problem because again, you show weakness right there. You're crying, and you show weakness right there.
If the woman cries, that's understandable. Like women are emotional creatures. It's okay if they cry, but like if you're crying at your own wedding just because your wife walked down the aisle, it's like kind of like.
I would say I only understand it if there's like a death in the family.
Yeah.
Like there's very, very little things, rare things that
humans have emotions. You can't just not display emotion. Period. But
right. Humans are emotional, but men should keep their emotionals on the down low. With the exception of if somebody passes away, unfortunately, and things like that. Like
of course,
those are awful situations. Like,
of course,
you can't control that. It is what it is there. But in general, for any other thing, even the most basic nonsense, you should never cry in front of your woman.
Don't be emotional around women.
Go cry by yourself in your room somewhere. Go cry in your car. Do it on your own.
And last but not least, what is number 5 on the list?
Being an introvert. Keeping to yourself, not wanting to be in social situations. And being in social situations is going to get you places. Networking, always key. Put yourself out there, especially if you want to grow a business, you're an entrepreneur, you're starting out. You want to put yourself out there, and you want to test yourself. Even if you are an introvert, you want to develop extrovert characteristics, because that's only going to help you grow. That's going to help make you better. And in the dating marketplace, that's going to help you compete against those who aren't good socially in social situations.
I think the reason this one's so important and why it's on this list is introverted people, and this isn't always the case, but introverted people come across as lacking confidence. If you see an introverted person, their body language kind of displays a lack of confidence. And that's not always true. I mean, you just may be an introverted person and you don't like being around a lot of people, so on and so forth. But the reason it's on this list is if you have an introverted type of personality, what would like an alpha male type of person do? They would control the social interaction. They would be the ones that approach people, and they're kind of like the center of the attention, and like they know how to work a crowd. Those are like think of like public speakers, people that are good at public speaking, right? But if you're kind of shy and you're in the corner and you're scared to introduce yourself and talk to people, that's an introverted type of personality, and it unfortunately it conveys like a lack of confidence. I think that's why it's on here.
I see how people grow up that way. You know, it starts from being a child and growing up at home and what you've gone through growing up, but at the same time, as you become an adult and you're trying to date, you have to put yourself out there, because, fellas, newsflash, women will not approach you.
No.
Women will not approach you. Good luck trying to have a woman approach you.
No way.
You have to be the one to approach women. Surprisingly, nowadays, there are women that are asking men out, or they try to gain some interest. And
women are social creatures. I mean, overall, I have to give it to women. Women are better socially than men. You know, even all women they seem to be better socially with like talking to people, approaching people. They're easy to talk to, so on and so forth. So, you know, you have to be, even if you're an introverted type of person, you have to work on your social skills and learn to be a little bit more like socially calibrated, because introverted people, again, like an introverted person, like you just said, is not going to necessarily go and approach a girl, right?
Right. You have to push yourself out of that. If you're in a situation where
you can't be timid, shy.
You lack social skills, but you have to kind of throw yourself out there. It's like kind of sink or swim. Mm-hmm. And eventually, the more you do it, the more likely you're going to sink versus swim. You're going to push through, and then you're going to grow and develop characteristics that an extrovert has. And you're going to be able to go up to a woman and tell her, hey, you look beautiful. Let me take you out on a date.
And for anybody that is introverted, I think, you know, a good way to work your way out of it is to just start being more social, like smile more, approach more people. I'm not saying go and approach women right out the gate, but like try to approach people and start conversation in a public setting more. And I think the more you do that, the more comfortable you'll get with it, and then it starts to become less intimidating. Because introverted people, it's almost like a fear, I guess, right?
There's a fear, and then they also...
So a lot of people have social anxiety in general nowadays. It's a common one too.
But you have to push through that if you want to get somewhere. Because again, if you're staying at home and not doing anything, again, no woman is going to come after you. No girl is going to ask you out. So you have to be the one to get out there and get in touch with reality. That's the thing, that there's many men that aren't in touch with reality. They're at home playing video games, watching Netflix.
It's the result of isolating yourself. If you isolate yourself at home, you know, you're not really helping the situation. You're just feeding that introvertedness. So
you can start by putting yourself in position. Put yourself in position, and that's how you'll grow. And let's see what happens.
So that was top 5 beta male behaviors. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, Rumble. We are available on TikTok, Instagram. We'll see you on the next one.
See you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.